Hi, I am Akshat, and today I wanted to talk about mobile app development and web development in general. I'll be covering Android, iOS, and the web. So let's get started. Android is something which I have been working on for the past 2 years, and it's an open source project led by Google to use two major programming languages, which are Kotlin and Java. Behind the scenes, I would say there is a lot going on. You use XML and other things as well, but the major focus is around these two languages. Moreover, for the past 3 to 4 years, I would say Kotlin has really taken over. And if you're a beginner, most probably you don't need to learn Java. You can directly start off with Kotlin and get going. Uh, a major disadvantage that you would feel or face because of that would be that maybe you don't get to explore more Android open source project because most of them will be written in Java. So you might have to scratch your head around to understand what's going on over there. So if you get the time, do make sure to check out Java as well. Other than that, the tools provide the Android apps are really quick and easy to learn. You can, if you face any problem, you could look up Stack Overflow or the other resources over the internet. A mere Google search could help you out, but you would need some experience around that. So Android apps allow you to distribute it to others as well. So you can just make an APK file and send it to your friends for checking the project out, which you have been working on. This is something which is really good. And if you want to publish your app on the Play Store, you could get a developer account, which requires $25 one-time fee. I think that's a really good initiative by Google that a one-time payment can allow you to submit apps to Google and access their services. Like they have special services for play games and all that. That is something I would say that there is a lot of help also available over the internet regarding Android projects. So if you get your hands on it, you would probably like that and it's good to go. So I would give a green signal to you to just go ahead if you have any device, majorly a laptop or a PC, you can just download the IDE and get going. Moreover, recently Google has started coming up with great documentations and videos as well, which you can follow and start your journey towards Android. However, one thing I would say that the support system currently provided to the developers is on a downgrading scale because Google is a vast company. They house a lot of services. So I feel that the support is a bit lacking in that area. If you are an indie developer, you might face a lot of problems because most of the times you might receive automated mails or there is not really much you can do for your app or for your project if something goes wrong. So that is something which you'll have to look forward to. Best case scenario would be maybe forming a company and housing a developer account to that company rather than being an indie developer and trying to work on it as an individual person. Yeah, so that's about Android. Moving on to iOS development, something which you could use to leverage all the Mac users and on to develop apps for your iPhone and Mac users, you would require Xcode, which is only available on Mac devices. It is not something which is available on machine or a Linux machine or a Linux machine. You would have to, you would require, you definitely require a Mac laptop to work on an iOS project, which is something I would say a very difficult choice that you would have to make if you don't have a Mac device already. In my personal opinion, Just for the sake of developing apps, don't buy a Mac laptop. Rather, maybe you could start off with Android and look for hybrid solutions. I think I didn't mention that to develop Android apps, you can use some hybrid solutions such as React Native or Flutter, which are in the market. But those would only provide you with certain functionalities. In my personal opinion, I prefer native apps, which are these directly built-in apps using Kotlin for Android and Java. And for iOS, you use two languages, which are basically Swift and Objective-C. Both the languages are great, and if you have a good grip over Kotlin, uh, moving on and switching over to Swift won't be that major of a deal because they are kind things such as Kotlin multi-platform are also coming up these days, which will allow you to share a code base. That is something great in terms of I would say iOS apps have a great and amazing feel because the animations provided and the inbuilt packages that are provided from Apple are really great. So you most of your major thinking and work will be done by the libraries which are already provided. You could, however, import a few third-party libraries available on the internet based on your needs. It's overall, I would say that mobile app development has a great and amazing curve to learning it. However, if you're looking for a job or if you're looking for opportunities where you could use these skills, I would say you would have to suffer a bit because these are kind of specific until unless you don't have a project or if you don't have some idea of your own, the scope is probably less because most of the people rely on web technologies to get their day-to-day tasks done. An app can be a functionality or a hobby or anything that you would want to prefer it as. With having a Mac device, you need to have a developer account as well if you want to share your apps or your projects. So there is a $99 subscription that you need to get hold of. It is an yearly subscription, not like Google's plan for the developer account, where it's a one-time fee. Over here, you will have to maintain a recurring cost for your developer account. Plus, I think at the beginning, the iOS development can be a bit tricky for everyone. But as you get hold of it, I would say that Xcode as an IDE is something which I prefer over Android because Xcode is really well made. It has a lot of features. Moving on, let's jump to web development. Web development is something I think normally everyone would like because you get to be on the web and host your websites or your apps over there. And anyone can get started with web development. You don't need to be a part of maybe like the Play Store or the App Store. If you have a project, you can just purchase a domain and host it over there. This is something which I've seen that most of the people prefer, and I respect that. So, but I personally had a hard time understanding how to go about things because once you start exploring web development, there are a huge amount of courses, frameworks, libraries that you could use. So picking one as a beginner can be a hell of a task for you. You would understand whether should I go for React or Angular or Vue. These are the terms which you'll hear a lot. I personally had to take a lot of time to understand which one I should go about. So I picked one at the time I picked Angular and I started working towards it. But I realized that most of the people want to be using React. So this is something which you could explore as well. As of now, I would say that if you are a beginner, getting started with React is the best option for you. It will allow you to uh, understand front-end development really well. Your concepts will be cleared. So you could go ahead with that. And with web development, you even get to explore backend development. Uh, as we were talking about these apps, so the apps, whatever you build using Android Studio and Xcode, those will need to communicate with the outer world, which is the internet. So for that, you would require maybe like APIs and some other functionalities as well. So for that, you need to rely on backend developers. So if you are learning web development, you could become a full stack developer, and along with your front end, you could work on your back end as well. This is something which will be of benefit for you. So if you're looking for maybe like getting jobs or understanding the computing world in a better and greater extent, I would suggest you start with web development because it has a greater scope. It has an amazing and greater scope for your personal growth. Along with Along with that, there is an option for you to develop mobile apps as well using the web frameworks. For example, you could use React Native to develop your mobile apps. And this is something which I've seen that most of the companies prefer using, because when you are joining a company, they most of the people who are beginning to the company or who are like freshers to the company trains them about things. So I would say that React Native is something which most of the companies have started preferring these days. Even Facebook and Instagram are made using those, the mobile apps. And you get to use plain HTML, JavaScript, and CSS to develop your apps. I would say that it has a hard learning curve, but it will be more fruitful for you. That's the take from web development. Overall, it depends on your use cases and your understanding of how you want to go about things. Maybe if you prefer getting results instantaneously, or maybe if you prefer your mobile apps, you could get started with native development and explore Android and iOS. But if you want like a career growth kind of a thing, or if you want to understand the web better, uh, web development is the key towards that. On a personal note, I would say most of the people who know me think that I've worked mainly on Android, because most of my apps will be on Android available. But there is a reason for that. I feel that Android apps are something that once you make the app, all you need to do is host it on the Play Store. I agree that there is a one-time fee, but once you're done with that, and once you have your mind wrapped around the concepts and how to go about things, this is something which is really great, that all you need to do is develop an app. Don't have to worry about hosting it anywhere, or you don't have to worry about any charges incurring until unless you have a backend connecting towards it. You could develop like note applications or any games or anything which can be run offline as well. That is something you could really like towards Android. Just develop the app and distribute it, something which you can't do mainly for iOS development using Apple's frameworks, because you need to have a developer account, you need to have a Mac device, you need to know a lot of people who use these devices. Because here in India, I would say that the percentage of users for Android is far beyond that of iOS users. So you would even like to target your audience accordingly, right? Plus, although the user interfaces and the user experiences on Mac devices will be way better, and these iPhone devices will be way better, because Apple is known for its design. Android is something which is pretty standard, and you can develop things very efficiently using it. So that's about mobile app development. And for web development, once you have decided which framework you want to be using, and mainly targeting a specific audience according to your needs, Web development is the key to your happiness, I would say, if you want to become a software developer or software engineer. I would say that's pretty much it. Currently, I'm exploring web development. If anyone's interested in that, we could have a chat. You could just ping me and we could talk about maybe React or Angular. But if you need any help with Android and iOS development, I've had 2 years of experience with Android and over 1.5 years experience with iOS development. So I continue these things whenever I have the time. I still prefer mobile apps over the web because it is something which I can, make it on the go and give it to people just on the instant. But for web, the process is a bit hard, but more fruitful. I've said that enough, I guess, and I would be wrapping up this video. If you liked it, do hit the like button, and if you want to hear more of me talking about such things, you could subscribe to the channel. Thank you for that, and have a great day, night, afternoon, or whatever. Uh, Bye bye.